who are going to be pretty unhappy about missing out. So you've done yourself a favor by getting here early. So well done. So yeah, just before we start, and then we're waiting for just a few more people to get on. Let's get to know a few of you who are actually live now with me. Let's have a chat to Kath quickly. Kath, can you hear me? Kath, I'm just going to unmute your microphone and hopefully we can have a chat. Hey Kath, how you going? Hello, Kath. Someone's walking. All right, let's have a chat to David. Hey David, how you going? Hey David, how you going?
G'day, good, thanks. Yourself?
Good, good. You're in the middle of dinner?
Just finished it, thank you.
Well done. What'd you have?
I took an easy winter meal for myself and the kids, spaghetti bolognese, so that wasn't too
Oh,
bad.
can't argue with that, mate. Classic. So what exactly do you do in your business, David?
We have a registered training organisation, so we do
Okay.
vocational training.
Mm-hmm. Great. And what made you decide to jump on the webinar today?
Always interested in how to grow my business, and of course, I can then share ideas with people that do training with us.
Absolutely. So who are your main clients?
We specialise in large multinational businesses, so that we operate in all states and territories of Australia and New Zealand.
Okay.
So large retailers,
Mm-hmm.
large labour companies
Mm-hmm.
that do contracted labour into businesses, things like that.
Mm-hmm. Okay, fantastic. Awesome. Well,
Yeah,
you're definitely going to get a lot out of today, and
great,
yeah, you can tell me about how you can implement it later on today.
excellent.
Awesome.
Thanks, Sam.
Look forward to sharing it with you. Okay, let's have a quick look at the time. It's 7:01, so we're going to get started. Let's start off with some housekeeping while we're all here. Okay, so housekeeping. Here's what I need you to do. If you're live on this webinar, what I need you to do is I need you to get your mobile phone. Who here has a mobile phone? If you've got a mobile phone, let me know in the chat box. Justin says, yep, yep. Everyone's saying, yep, yep. Okay, here's what I need you to do. I need you to take your phone and I need you to turn it on silent. Okay, that's the first thing I need you to do. The reason why I need you to do that is I want you to stay focused here because I'm going to give away some really great information for you to implement in your business. So I want you to stay focused, yeah? The next thing I want you to do is I want you to get a pad and a pen so you can jot down some notes because you are really going to get a lot of value out of today. And it's the people who really sit down and listen and then implement what I'm going to teach today. You're the ones who are going to get the most value out of it. So do yourself a favor, take a second, go grab a pad and a pen, okay? So you can start taking some notes. You'll thank me later. All right. So what I want to do, just quickly, let me know in the chat box. Let me know what you do. What does your business do? Let me know in the chat box. My friend Rach is on the webinar. Rach is a relationship coach and mentor. Fantastic. Kath, you mentor SMEs. Okay, great. Beautiful. All right. Yeah, we can. Other ones here. Amy's a personal trainer. Justin, Reseller prepaid meters for electricity and water. That sounds interesting. Okay, cool. Great. Keep them coming in the chat box. So, what I want to chat about today quickly, just before we get into everything, what is the biggest frustration you're having in your business? The biggest frustration, the biggest one. Let me know in the chat box. If you're like most business owners, it's either you don't have enough time or you don't have enough leads. Or yeah, it's time, it's leads, or it's running a business sometimes isn't the dream that you thought it would be. Well, Justin has an interesting one, getting past the gatekeeper. Okay, that's an interesting one. Yep, cool. Rach, not capturing and converting leads plus time. Yep, absolutely, Rach. Absolutely. That's a really big one. Amy says not getting enough leads. Sai saying converting the leads was a big one for me. Yep, they're all really big problems, guys. And these are all things that we can help you with. And I'm going to help you with today. Okay. David says business development, the feast or famine effect. Yep, that's absolutely right, David. Especially if you're in the sort of business that you're in. And a lot of coaches have that as well. Business coaches and coaches of that kind, they have the feast and famine. They have a whole bunch of sales that come in, and then because their sales process is so long, you're looking at a 5 or 6 month sales process. You'll have 6 months of famine before you get any more sales through. So yeah, that is a really big one. Cool. So yeah, I mean the biggest ones really are it's either getting leads in, converting your leads, or it's having the time. It's either you're so busy you just don't have any time. And let me know, why did you actually start your business? Why did you decide to get into business? Let me know in the question box. Why did you decide to get into business? I'll let you know why I decided to get into business. I got into business because I was sick and tired of working for someone else. I was it was really crazy, and I'll tell you that story in a second. So now obviously the economy has changed. The business is not the way it used to be even 10 years ago, right? The economy is in a very different place right now. So compared to what you were doing back when the economy was high, 2006, 2007, how far behind are you now? How has the economy affected your business? Let me know in the question box. Ooh, John's telling me he's down 40%. Pat's telling me he's down 70%. Rosetta's telling me business has absolutely collapsed. Yep. Rach saying people aren't spending on things that aren't necessities. Yep. Justin says it's doing me a favor. People want what I got. Yep. Can't argue with that, my friend. You definitely can't argue with that. The thing I want to point out to you is that the economy does affect business. It absolutely changes business. David's telling me you're down 60% across the industry. 60%. Yep. Changes like that are absolutely normal in today's environment, and it can be the biggest blessing in disguise. And I'm going to share that with you in a second. So today what we're covering is we're covering the 5 most dangerous trends affecting your business today. Okay. And essentially how we found these trends is that we looked at over 3.5 million in research over the last 21 years, and we found these 5 shocking trends that all businesses need to know. And the reason why we're sharing it free today, we're sharing it free as a community service announcement. And we went through mountains and mountains of paperwork to find and analyze these trends, and we've condensed all this research down for you. We're going to cover it today in 60 minutes. Does that sound good to you? Let me know in the question box. And also today, as an unannounced bonus, I'm actually giving away $1,500 at the end of the webinar. So you have to stay on till the end. And if you do, you're going to get a chance to win $1,500. How does that sound? Let me know in the question box. Okay, so let, is it okay if I share with you a little bit about me and why I'm actually doing this? Is that okay? Let me know in the question box. So, as I told you before, I was going to share with you my story a little bit, if that's okay. You know, I started a marketing company back in 2005, and we absolutely got some amazing results for our clients. We were able to bring in over $1 million in new business in under 3 months using just the telephone. So that's quite an amazing result for a business that went from absolute zero to $1 million in turnover in 3 months. That's besides all the other stuff we were doing. And then, we were doing all this work, and I decided, you know what, it's time I started doing some stuff for myself, and that's what I did. And I went from there, and then I started noticing this change with the internet, and I was noticing how the internet was growing so incredibly quickly. And I just knew that we needed to figure out this internet thing, because everything else we were doing was working so incredibly well, but we were noticing more and more people were going to the internet, and that's why we started researching these trends. Yeah, I actually wrote a book called Social Income Formula, and that was a best-selling book. I'm also a marketer, so I actually have a marketing consultancy agency called Enliven Media. Enliven Media is actually sponsoring this webinar today. I'm also an international speaker, so I speak here in Thailand and various marketing summits around the world. I'm a trainer. We've got over 850 coaching clients around the world, and we help them increase their profits in their businesses by 30 to 60% in 60 to 90 days using low and no cost marketing strategies. And to give you an idea of some of the results that we sort of get, I just want to show you a quick couple of testimonials. So, Peter here, who runs Peter Barco Education. After spending 10 minutes with me, I showed him how he could double his profits in the same amount of time per client. So that's something really handy to know. Who'd like to double the amount of profit you're getting per client? Let me know in the question box. Got Rose. Rose says everyone should listen to Sanjeev. He's fantastic. And Rose actually runs the Networkers Referral Group, which is actually a really big networking group. Cheryl Frost is a world fitness athlete, and she's also a founder of Pure Energy Personal Training. Through doing some training with me, they were able to get some ideas and implement everything by the time they went home. So that's really important. So here's what we are going to cover today. I'm going to cover the shocking reason why 96% of businesses fail. We're also going to cover the real reason why businesses everywhere are struggling. And believe me, it's not what the gurus are telling you. I want to share with you why the current economic climate is the biggest blessing for your business right now. I'm going to share with you the 45,000% growth trend that we found that is absolutely changing the business landscape today. I'm going to share with you exactly what you need to know to crush your competition. I'm going to share with you the one thing you need to do to double the results of your marketing, and it's absolutely free and you can implement it today. Who'd like to know that one? Let me know in the question box. And I'm also going to share with you the single strategy you can implement to routinely increase your response rate by 3,000%. Who'd like to know that one? I'm also going to share with you, this is probably the biggest thing I'm going to share with you today, how you can tweak your marketing to generate 10 times more leads than you are right now. Who'd like to know that? Let me know in the question box. Got some hell yes, sounds too good, Justin. Well, you be the judge of that by the end of it. Got some yeses, hell yeses, awesome, cool. Rach says, count me in on all of it. Awesome. Okay, guys, it sounds like we're in the right room. Okay, so let's keep going with it. So let's talk business. Sue says, yes. Let's talk business. Okay. After 2 years in business, 80% of businesses fail. Yeah. These are statistics from the Australian Bureau of Statistics. After year 2, when you start your business, the second year, by the end of the second year, 80% of you will fail. That's 4 out of 5 businesses fail. Okay. After 5 years, out of that 20% that succeed the first 2 years, 80% of those fail in the next 3 years. So after 5 years, that means that only 4% of business owners and 4% of businesses are actually going to succeed. after that 5 years. Only 4%. Okay, so that means 96% of you won't be in business in 5 years' time. Okay, that's what that means. And that's a scary thing. So it really got us thinking, what is it that the 4% do differently? Who can guess what the 4% do differently? Let me know in the question box. David says planning. Yeah, planning's part of it. What else have we got? Got using the internet. Yeah, that's one. Yeah, the internet's a big one, definitely. Ray says whatever the 96% don't do. Yep, Pat says marketing. Ray says mindset. Justin says stay ahead of the competition. Yep, they're all important. But when you boil it all down, it comes down to this. Business comes down to getting people in the door and then getting them to come back. Yeah? Does that make sense? Business really is that simple. When you simplify it right down, that's what it's all about. It's about getting people in the door and getting them to keep coming back. But the problem is marketing is getting tougher and tougher. Yeah? Are you finding marketing is getting tougher in your business? Are you finding it harder and harder to get leads in the door? Are you finding it harder now than it was before? Well, let me show you why. We found something through our $3.5 million of research called the clutter factor. And what the clutter factor talks about is the amount of marketing messages people see every day. Back in 1992, people were seeing only 2,000 marketing messages a day. In 95, that jumped to 3,000 a day. And today, it is now 30,000 marketing messages every single day. 30,000 marketing messages. So what does that mean? What's the impact on business? Well, the clutter factor has more than tripled the cost of advertising since 1992. Okay, so it now costs you 3 times as much to get your advertisement in front of the same amount of people. Okay, but because of the clutter factor, it also means the effectiveness of advertising has dropped by over 50%. So what does that mean? It means that if you want to get the same results now that you were getting in 1992, you have to be spending 6 times as much as you used to. Now, who here has increased their advertising budget by 600%? If you're like most people, the answer is no. The answer is no. Is there anyone here who's increased their advertising budget by 600%? Let me know in the question box. No, 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 no. Yep, I'm just getting a whole bunch of no's. Yep, that's right. So, if people aren't using traditional media the way that they used to, if they're not as effective as they used to be, obviously you're getting 600% less ROI using traditional media. So where are people now? Take one guess. Where are they? Where are more and more people going right now? Let me know in the question box. Ray says on Facebook. Yep, you're almost there. They're actually online. Yeah, people are online. This is a 45,000% growth trend. Back in 1992, there were only 5 million people using the internet. In 99, it came to 105 million. And in 2012, it is now 2.25 billion people using the internet. That is a 45,000% growth trend. It is unbelievable how quickly the internet is growing. It is unbelievable. So if you aren't using the internet for your business, it's something you really want to have a look at. But the problem is, with great power comes great responsibility. Social media and the internet has changed the way advertising works, has changed the way businesses do business. Do you remember a few months ago, there was someone who took a Hyundai into service at the Hyundai service center, essentially. And they got billed with this invoice that you can see here with a whole bunch of things that are highlighted that never even got done to the car or can't possibly be done to the car. Okay? And this went viral on social media. Went absolutely viral. Now, do you think that's good or bad for business if you're Hyundai? to be seen that you're screwing over customers, do you think that's good or bad? Yeah, bad. Absolutely. So what you have to understand is that the internet can be your greatest boon or it can create your worst nightmare overnight, just like with Hyundai. Okay? So you got to make sure what you're doing is great. Yeah? So what we're going to do now is we're going to talk about the biggest mistake that 99% of business owners make. Do you want to know what that is? Who'd like to know? Let me know in the question box. This is a very interactive webinar. I want to make sure that I'm delivering what you want to know. If you don't want to know, then please tell me. I can share something else with you. So I'm always asking questions, and I love to hear feedback. So let me know in the question box, guys. Awesome. Okay, we're in the right room. The biggest mistake that business owners make is that you focus on tactics and not strategy. That is the biggest mistake. So, what's a tactic and what's a strategy? Well, let me explain. A tactic is a website. A tactic is a postcard. A tactic is a office or a shop front. A tactic is a website. That's what a tactic is. What is a strategy? A strategy is something which encompasses all of that, but then allows you to complete strategic objectives. Okay? So, what's an example of a strategy? Well, let me tell you. An example of a strategy is wanting to be the most credible business in your industry, wanting to be the most trusted business in your industry, wanting to be the most respected business in your industry, wanting to be the go-to business in your industry, wanting to be. Okay, we've just got some questions here. I just want to answer them quickly. Yep, that's right, Amy. So a strategy is all about encompassing everything you do to make sure that every single one of your tactics helps you obtain that strategic objective that you are trying to obtain for your business. So if you want to be the most trusted business in your industry, so Rach, for example, if you want to be the most trusted relationship consultant or relationship coach, do you think that just by having that objective of being the most credible and the most trusted relationship coach, do you think that would change the way that you run your entire business? Do you think it would change the way that you do your website? Do you think it would change the way you do things on social media? Do you think it would change the way that you do your coaching calls? Do you think it would change things? How about you? How about everybody else on the call? Do you think by focusing on your strategy a little bit, it changes the way that you implement each one of the different tactics that you implement for your business? Let me know. Let me know in the question box. I want to make sure that everyone gets this because this is a real big one. Let me know in the question box if you have any questions about this or if it just doesn't make sense to you. Justin says strategy is key. Sure is, my friend. David says strategy will tell you what you need to do. Yep, that's right. It helps guide you. That's exactly right. It definitely helps guide you. So, what we're going to do now is I'm going to share with you how you can tweak your marketing to get 10 times as many leads as you are now. Who'd like to know that? Let me know in the question box if you'd like to know how to get 10 times more leads than you are right now. Rach says me, beautiful. Anyone else want to know? David says definitely. Okay, great. Anyone else want to know? Justin says tell me more. How about 20 times? How about 100 times, Justin? How about 100 times? Does that sound good? Let me know. Justin says, okay, good. All right, good. Just making sure I'm in the right room, guys. Okay, good. So here's how to tweak your marketing. So I want to do an exercise with you to help illustrate this. Is that okay? I want to do an exercise to help illustrate this. Here in front of you, okay, I'm going to let you go on stage in a second. And in front of you, you have an audience. Okay, you have 10,000 people in front of you who are all your ideal clients. Okay, 10,000 people in front of you who are your ideal clients. Now, what is you can say one sentence to them, only one sentence. Okay, now this one sentence has to capture their attention enough for them to want to stay and listen to the rest of your presentation. Okay, at the end of that one sentence, they get the option of staying or leaving. What is the one thing you can say to them to ensure that more people will sit down and listen to you and listen to the rest of your marketing message? Everyone's business is different, so everyone's answers are going to be different. But I want you to do this exercise because you're going to get something so incredibly valuable out of it if you do it. Let me know what the one sentence you would say to your ideal target market sitting in front of you. There's 10,000 of them. What's the one thing you would say to them? Let me know in the question box. This is going to take a minute, so I'm going to grab some water. I can see you're all thinking, very cleverly thinking. We've got Amy. Amy says, here's how to look good naked. Yep, okay. Amy's a personal trainer. Okay, yep, interesting. Interesting. Let's get some other ones. I can tell you how to potentially halve your electricity bill. Do you want to know more? Justin, that's an interesting one. That's an interesting one. Who else has got one? David, would you like the government to pay to train your people so they can make you more money? That's a good one. That's a good one. Do you want me to tell you the biggest mistake everyone so far has made? And just by changing this one thing, you'd be able to get 10 times more leads. Who'd like to know what it is? Almost nobody knows what it is. David says yes. Who else? I want a few more yeses. I'm not going to share it. Justin says yes. Amy says hell yes. Please share. Come on, tell me. Suspense is killing me. Okay, all right. Okay, I'll share it with you. Here's the biggest mistake. The biggest mistake is that you're assuming that someone already wants what you sell. That's generally not the case. Okay, and I want to show you why. Because at any one time, only 3%, can you see this here? Only 3% are ready to listen to your marketing message at any one time. Only 3% of people. Okay? 3% are ready and they're ready to listen to you. That doesn't mean they're going to buy from you. 3% are ready to listen to your marketing messages. Okay? 7% of people are going to make a buying decision soon in the next 6 months or so. Okay? That's 7% of people. 30% of people here aren't thinking about it. Simply aren't thinking about what you do. Okay? Another 30% think they're not interested. Okay? They just think, yeah, not interested. And then there's 30% of people who are definitely not interested. Okay? Definitely not interested. So, how are they not interested? Either their brother does it, their brother-in-law does it, their sister does it, someone in their family does it, one of their friends does it. They're not looking to change providers for whatever you do, etc., etc., etc. Okay? That leaves 70% of people. But crafting a marketing message the way that you're doing now, you're only getting that 3%. By changing your marketing message to encapsulate the other 67%, you're going to get way more leads coming through. So, Justin, that is about 20 times as many leads. I think it's 22 times as many leads as you are now, because you'll be getting the attention of all these other people who are not just ready to buy now. Okay, does that make sense? Let me know. Let me know in the question box if that makes sense, because this is another one of those big ones that you definitely need to make sure that you understand. Dave says, sure, awesome, cool. Yeah, yeah, beautiful. All makes sense. Grace says, I think so now. I just need an example. Okay, great. Let me give you an example. If I said to you, okay, Rach, let's use you as an example. Rach, do you have a microphone? Let me know in the question box if you have a microphone. Yes. Okay, I'm going to unmute you and we're going to have a chat for a sec. Rach, how you going?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I'm doing well. I'm doing well. So, Rach, if let's do this exercise together.
Okay.
So you're here. You've got 10,000 couples in front of you because Rach is a relationship coach. You've got 10,000 of your ideal. You've got 10,000 couples in front of you. Okay, they're your ideal clients. What would you say to them?
Well, I haven't got an actual sentence because you made me think about it, but I was focused on how would you like to create a freedom-based relationship when monogamy is an option, not the default.
Okay, cool. That's a good one. That's an interesting one. How do you think you could see? So that one, as an example, only caters to that 3% who are ready now. Yeah.
Hmm.
So if you wanted to do a bigger one, okay,
Yep.
for you, for example, a better one would be the 5 biggest mistakes that do you target men or women generally, or you do both?
Pretty much couples, so
Pretty much
both.
couples. Okay. The 5 biggest mistakes that every couple makes in
Okay,
their
yep.
relationship. You're kind of like
Okay.
scratching your head, huh?
No, I'm writing it down.
Do you see why that works though?
Yeah,
Do you
I
see
hear.
how that will get you so many more leads?
Yep,
And then you could tweak it down and tweak it down and tweak it down further. But just by changing that one thing, changing to an education based marketing method where you're focusing on them and what they want to know, people will always stay longer and listen when there's something for them. They'll always stay longer for something where they're actually going to learn something of value compared to where someone's going to sell them something. Yeah.
yep,
So people are always going to be more interested in the biggest mistakes they're making in their relationship compared to how monogamy is an option in a freedom-based relationship, etc., etc. Now, all that stuff is fantastic, I'm sure, and it's what they want eventually. But how are you going to capture them as a lead? You need to meet them where they are,
yeah,
yeah. And what they want to do is they
yep.
want to learn something.
Cool.
Yeah. Does that
Great.
help?
Mhm. That's helpful. Thank you.
Awesome, great. Does that make sense, everyone? If that makes sense, let me know. Yeah, so Justin, what the answer is changing to an education-based marketing method. Okay, where you focus on them. Yeah, so people will always come and stay longer to learn something valuable to them. Always, but they will learn something. Okay, rather than just being sold something. Yeah, so if you can educate someone, if you can actually educate them, and they can leave with some value, they'll always come. More people will come, and they'll definitely stay longer. Okay. Justin says education based is the key. It sure is, my friend. It sure is. Okay, so who wants to know how to double the results of your marketing? Who'd like to know how to double the results of your marketing? David says, yes, please. Hell yes. Yes, please, sir. Awesome. I'm going to share with you. It is to test and measure constantly. If you just did this one thing, if you just did this one simple thing, if you just tested and measured every single thing you did with your marketing, you would double your results. You would be unbelievably over the moon with the results you'll get because you'll be able to see what's working and what's not working, and the numbers will be right in front of you. Okay? The other biggest mistake that business owners make is that they think they're in the business of doing whatever they do. So, Justin, you think you're in the business of um, prepaid power meters, and Rach is a relationship coach, and David is a training organization helping people get training for using government grants, etc., for their people. I hope I've got that right, David. Etc., etc., etc. But you're not in that business. You're actually in the business of buying customers. That's what you're in the business of doing. And if you know your numbers, if you test and measure constantly, you'll be able to know your numbers. You'll know exactly how much you're buying a lead for. You'll exactly know how much a sale is costing you. You'll know all these things. And you'll be able to know that every time that you spend, say, a sale costs you $100, you know that every time you spend $100 on advertising or marketing, you get $1,000 back. You sell, $1,000 whatever you sell. Okay, you get $1,000 back. If I said to you, you give me $100, I'll give you $1,000 back. How many times would you do it? Come on, guys. How many times would you do it? If I said to you, you give me $100 and I'll give you $1,000 back. How many of you would do it? Right? It says every second. Yep, that's right. Every second. David says heaps. Yep, that's right, guys. You do it over and over and over again. Justin says, keep coming back for more. Absolutely, you would. Absolutely, you would. You know why? Because you know your numbers. And when you know your numbers, that's what you do in your business. You know exactly how much your leads are costing you. You know exactly how much your sales are costing you. And you know which marketing methods are working better. You know exactly how many leads come in for a particular marketing spend. You can measure your ROI and you'll know exactly what's working best for you. And you can cut out the stuff that isn't working. Who still uses the yellow pages? Who's testing and measuring? I don't know anyone who is. If you're not testing or measuring yet, okay, if you're using the yellow pages, I've got a couple of you saying, yep, we're still using the yellow pages. That's awesome. Test and measure it. Test and measure it. Okay, start now and test and measure it and see how much results you get from the yellow pages over your. I know, I guess they've just done a rerun, so I guess it's the next year. See what results you get over the next year, and then you'll be able to tell to see if it's worthwhile for you. Do the same with your social media campaigns, do the same with your emails, do the same with your website, everything. And you'll be able to see where you're getting the best results, and you just focus on the things that work best. You don't have to worry about the things that don't work. You don't have to worry about all the overwhelm of all the other stuff around that people tell you that you should be doing for your business, networking and this, and going to networking meetings, and doing direct mail, and sending out postcards, and doing PR pieces, and advertising, and sending out flyers, and all that sort of stuff that people say that you should do to get your name out there and do all that sort of stuff. Forget all that and just look at what results you're getting. If you just focus on what results you're getting and you're testing and you're measuring, you'll know exactly what's working best. David says, we spent bucket loads. We had a meter and discrete line to measure results. Worked great for the first 10 years. But the last 15, since the internet came in, waste of time. We don't even have an ad in there now. Yep, absolutely. That's the thing. You've got to do what works. And you're smart. You've figured out that it doesn't work. So you've stopped doing it. Beautiful. That's great. That's exactly what we're talking about. Fantastic. All right, let's keep going. So guys, how far behind are you from when we were back in the heyday of 2006, 2007? You know, how far behind are you? Yeah. Some of you are 30% down, 40% down, 50% down, 60% down. You've got to do something to change things around. Yeah. And why this current marketplace is the biggest blessing in disguise for your business is that it gets rid of all the riffraff. Okay? All of the business owners who don't know what they're doing or who are just in it for the money, etc., 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 they'll all get wiped away. Okay? They'll all get wiped away. But it also means you've got to step up your game. It means that, if you want to make the most out of your business, if you want to maximize your profits, okay, you do it now when times are tough. Yeah? Because when the economy bounces back, you'll be so far ahead of the game because you've done all your testing, you've done all your measuring, you know exactly what works, and you can just keep expanding and scaling and optimizing when the economy gets better and better and better. Justin says, I'm just starting out. Yeah, that's right. Yep, cool. Absolutely. You're starting out, well, this is a perfect time for you to start doing that stuff and making sure that you're getting the most out of everything that you do. Yeah. But the problem is, how are you going to implement this for your business? How are you going to implement an education-based marketing? How are you going to implement to get the 10 times more leads? How are you going to double the results of your marketing, etc., for your business? Because every business is different. Yeah. Every client base is different. So the same things that work for, say, Rach, who's a relationship coach, might not work for who's a power meter guy, Justin. Might not work for Justin because entirely different markets. Yeah. So what that means is the way that you market your business has to be different. Yeah. Do you agree? Does that make sense? Let me know in the question box if that makes sense. Or do you think that you can just use the same marketing methods for any business willy-nilly? This says make sense. Yep. Okay, cool. Person says lots of sense. Okay, good. Just making sure. So how are you going to get the help that you need to implement this for your business? Okay. What you need is a strategy. Yeah, that's what you need. Remember how we were talking before about strategies and tactics? A lot of people tell you about putting and implementing tactics for your business. They'll tell you do some advertising or put an ad in the paper, etc., etc. Do a website, do a blog, do something on Facebook, or do something on Twitter or LinkedIn, or what other things they tell you to do. Do some TV advertising. There's a whole bunch of tactics that people tell you to do. But what you really need is you need to have that strategy in place first that you can implement into each one of those tactics. That's the most important thing you need to do. Yeah. So here's the 5 things you must consider before you talk to anyone about helping you with a strategy for your business. Okay. Who'd like to know these things that you need to know before you start implementing a strategy for your business? Getting a whole bunch of yeses. Yep. Hell yes. Awesome. Okay, look. The first thing you need to look for is you need to look for proven results. That is the most important thing. There are a lot of people out there who say they can do a whole bunch of things, but they simply just don't have the results. Okay? You need to look for results. That is so incredibly important. Okay, you need to look for experience. You definitely need to look for someone or a company, whatever you do, you need to find someone who's got some real experience behind them. You need to make sure they've worked in more than one industry. There's a lot of people out there who just, when it comes to strategy, who just work with retail or just work with chiropractors or coaches or speakers or etc., etc., etc. We call that a vertical. Okay, you want to make sure they've got experience in a breadth of industries. So why that's so important is so that they can share with you the knowledge and the experience they bring in from working in the breadth of different industries. And they can bring in the strategies and things they've implemented in different industries into your industry because they have that breadth of experience. Yeah. You want to make sure they have experience with multiple mediums. Okay. You definitely want to make sure of that. A lot of people are experts in social media or with copywriting or with websites or with Facebook or PR, advertising, etc., etc., etc. Yeah, you want to make sure that whoever helps you with your strategy, you want to make sure they've got expertise with multiple mediums. Okay, because what happens otherwise is that this is what happens in a normal company. Okay, generally speaking, they implement all these tactics without implementing the strategy in place. So nothing ties in together. Okay. So the PR person does all the PR. The website person does the website. The salespeople do the sales. And the social media person does their social media. But nobody is talking to each other. No one. No one is talking to each other. So what does that mean? Every single one of these tactics has a different message. Okay, so the message about their business gets diluted because there are just so many different messages out there, and you want to make sure all of that is consistent. And the only way you can do that is with a strategy, but a strategy that encompasses more than one medium. It encompasses all the different marketing channels you're going to use to market your business. And you also want to make sure that they talk about measured performance. That's a really big one. Because as I showed you before, you want to make sure that whatever you're doing is working. That's the biggest thing. It's got to be working. If it's not working, then it's silly. Yeah? That's like asking you to give me $100 and I only give you back $5. Would you do that? No. But if I asked you to give me $100 and I gave you back $1,000, you definitely do that. Okay? That's where the performance comes in. You need to make sure you've got that measured performance. Yeah? So, is it okay if I share with you a little bit about our sponsor today? Literally goes for like 2 minutes. If that's okay with you, let me know in the question box. I've got to go for it. Yes, sure. Okay, cool. Just like to make sure of these things. Okay, cool. So our sponsor today, as I told you, is Enliven Media. And the Enliven Media team have worked with a whole bunch of businesses in a whole range of different industries. Worked with government, Brisbane City Council, Ipswich City Council, Queensland Government as well, Astro TV, done Ford, EA Games, Springfield Lane Corporation, Facebook, LinkedIn, etc., etc., etc. Okay, there's a whole bunch of companies there. Enliven Media has over 2,785 happy clients, including government, billion-dollar corporations, and SMEs. We've tested over $27.5 million. We've tested and measured $27.5 million in over 35 industries. So what does that mean? That means we know exactly what works because we've tested it. And we only use proven low and no-cost marketing strategies to increase profits by 30 to 60% into 60 to 90 days. Yeah? Does that sound interesting to anyone? Let me know in the question box if it does. Who'd like to increase their business profits by 30 to 60% into 60 to 90 days? Yep, Justin says very yes, hell yes, tell me more. Well, that's not what this webinar is about, Amy, but happy to share with you later. So what I want to do now is I just want to share with you a few case studies of what we've been able to do with some of our clients. Is that okay? So that way you can get a feel for what's going on in business right now, what we're able to do, and the sort of results that we've been able to provide. Is that fair enough? Is that okay? Who'd be interested to have a look at some case studies? Let me know in the question box. Okay, more than fair. Sure. Awesome. Definitely. Okay, cool. Okay, so generally we work with a few different kinds of businesses. They generally fall into one of three categories. The first one are online marketers. So the first case study we have is about a coaching client of ours called Cy Blackburn. And Cy Blackburn is the founder of Sci-Fi Dating and W Database. Now, the problem Cy was having was that he was a coach offline. So what that means is he was running seminars and running a coaching business with workshops, etc., etc. And he wanted to make the jump online so he could use the internet to grow his business. Yeah. But what he really wanted to do was that he wanted to run his business entirely online. Okay, that's what he wanted to do. So he came to us, and in his first 30 days, we helped him create product, and then we helped him actually bring in $14,000 of sales in the first month, and he got a 1,200% ROI on his money. Who'd like results like that? Who'd like $14,000 in sales on a digital product where there are zero expenses in delivering a product? Who'd like those sort of results? It says, hell yes. This is very, very nice. Okay, cool. Just making sure. Okay, cool. So that's Sai for you. And on the last webinar that we did, Sai actually was on the call, so we were able to have a chat to him, and people asked him questions, etc., etc. But can't do that today. He's actually running an event today, so we don't have the pleasure of having Sai on our call today. I'm going to chat to you about our second case study, which is a local business. Now, Elspa, this particular business, Elspa, is a day spa and beauty salon in Brisbane. And the biggest problem Elisa was having with her business is just simply just not having enough leads coming in. That was the first problem. And the second problem was not having enough. So it was getting the leads in the first place. The second problem was actually converting those leads to make sure to increase the lifetime value of the customer and getting that money up front. So to actually increase the cash flow. So we created a bunch of different strategies for her. One was to actually get leads in the door. And then when we got leads in the door, we helped her actually increase these leads coming in into very high paying clients. Yeah. So here's what she had to say. She implemented our strategies and she took a 3-month holiday. She had so much time, she systemized everything with our help. She was able to take 3 months off, have staff run her entire business. She went over to South America and she danced in Rio Carnival, and she went to Cuba and to Mexico and the States and walked up Machu Picchu and a whole bunch of other things. And she was able to do that because her entire business was systemized. Yeah, all her marketing was systemized, and the staff were trained, so they knew exactly what they needed to do, and it freed up her time, so she was able to do what she really wanted to do, which was travel. Who'd like a result like that? Let me know in the question box. Rach says, both hands up. Anyone else like more time in their business? Or more time to do the things they really want to do, so they don't have to spend their time in their business? Justin says, I'm out of here on a jet plane. Yeah, absolutely, mate, absolutely. And I want to share with you the third one. The other type of business we generally work with are coaches and speakers. And that's pretty much how we met Peter Varco. Peter Varco runs his coaching business called Peter Varco Education. And he needed to have a strategy session with me, and he paid a whole bunch of money to do that. And on our strategy session, he showed me his business model and how he was doing things. And I saw a really big deficiency, and his deficiency was cash flow. So I showed him a strategy he could implement so that he can make an extra $25,000 in pure profit from each client up front. And he's implemented that now. And he got that after 10 minutes of talking to me on a strategy session. Who'd like a result like that, being able to get an extra $25,000 in pure profit from each client up front before you start working with them? Now, of course, that's not possible with every business. If you sell a low-end product, etc., that's not always possible. But who'd like an increase? Who'd even $100 increase on what you're selling right now? How good would that be? I says that would be awesome, but of course, sure, awesome. Okay, cool. So, and we were able to do all of this because we implemented strategies. Yeah. I've got some video testimonials here, but they don't really play well on webinars. The sound and the video gets distorted because it's technical, but they get distorted. But Barnaby Anderson, who runs a branding company called Brand Aloud, says, if you want more leads, and working with live and media definitely makes a difference. Roscoe, after working with me, he's now building a 7-figure business without 7-figure overheads. He's doing incredibly well for himself. So the biggest question I generally get asked now is, how on earth do I get help for my business? Yeah. Who'd like some help for their business? Who'd like some help with the strategy for their business? Let me know in the question box. David says, tell me. Yes, please. Okay, cool. You definitely need a strategy. Yeah? You definitely need a strategy. Yeah? It's the first thing you need. You need a strategy so that you can implement all that with all the different tactics that you're using. Yeah. Now, if you went to our website to have a strategy session with me, you would normally pay $14.97. It's $1,500 for a 90-minute strategy session. Okay, that's what you'd pay. Here's what I'm going to do. Someone on this webinar right now is going to win a 90-minute strategy session with me for free. Absolutely free, no strings attached, nothing. Okay? Who would like to win a free strategy session with me? Justin says maybe he's beyond help. Ray says me. Sue says yes. Pat says yep. Okay, cool. Here's what you need to do. You need to go to this website right here, enlivenmediacorp.com/strategy. You need to do this now. Can you still see my screen? I've got this thing from GoToWebinar. If you can see my screen, just let me know in the chat box quickly. Can you see my screen? Hello, people. Can you see my screen? Let me know. That says no. Red says yes. Jumped out. What was the link? Okay. Okay, but the PowerPoint's not running. There it is there. enlivenmediacorp.com/strategy. Okay, I'm going to show you it here. Can you guys see my internet thing here? enlivenmediacorp.com/strategy. Okay, and you're going to come to a screen that looks like this. Can you all see that? Let me know if you can see that. Okay, Rachel, it's here. I'll put it in the question box. Maybe that'd be easier. Okay, there you go. I've just sent it to you all. Okay, beautiful. All right. I know there's a bunch of you trying to get on. Here's what you need to do. You need to put in an application, and the best application is going to win a free strategy session with me. I'm only keeping this up for the next hour, so you've got to fill this in now. Okay, just fill it in. There's some questions there. You just click schedule my session once you fill it in, and once you do, I'm going to go through them, and the person who gives us the best answers to the questions is going to win a free strategy session. Okay, so go ahead and do that now. Okay. Does anyone have any questions about that? That all makes sense? Anyone still having trouble finding it? Okay, so the best application wins. Okay, so you really need to think about how much money are you throwing down the drain with your marketing. Okay, you can solve all that frustration and lost income right now for free if you win. Okay, so go ahead and fill out that application. Okay, so let me know quickly in the chat box, why do you really want one? Let me know, why do you really want a strategy session with me? How's it going to benefit your business? Let me know in the chat box. Justin says currently clueless. Justin, can I dig a little bit deeper with you? Are you clueless about marketing, or are you clueless about why you need a strategy session, or what are you clueless about? Clueless about marketing. Okay, well, fill in the form, my friend. Fill in the form. Best answer wins. Okay, so while you guys are filling out the forms, does anyone have any questions that they want to ask me before we finish up this webinar? Rach says, I have all the pieces in place, but I don't have the right message or words to capture people's attention. It's a big one, Rach. Justin says, good to go. Awesome. You filled out the form already, Justin? That was quick. Any marketing questions? Any questions about what we presented today? Awesome, Justin. What do you have to do? Justin says, fill out the form and win the prize. Very good. Smart man. He's learning quickly. We've got a few more people on here now. Let me know in the chat box what you do for your business. Let me know in the chat box. Some of you came on a little bit late, so we don't know what everyone does. Might be a chance for you to network on here while we're here. Justin says, educate potential clients, not sell them. Smart man. Very good. Okay, great. We're getting some questions in here. All right, Amy's asking me, how long does a strategy session go for? Amy, it generally goes for anywhere between 60 and 90 minutes generally. We really like to delve in deep, find out exactly what's going on with your business, and then we can start on the road of developing a strategy. It's really key to find out exactly what's working in your business, what's not working, etc., etc., etc. And then through doing that, we're able to find out exactly what the best thing's going on. Sue says she's a musician, coach, recording, and songwriting artist. Oh, wow, very interesting, Sue. What's the biggest problem you have with your business, Sue? Everybody's busy typing away, filling in the form. So the biggest problem with your business, Sue, is lease. So paying your lease is the biggest problem. Is that right? Or having a lease? Oh, leads. I thought that was misspelled. Getting leads in the door. That's a big one. It's a big one. Well, fill in the strategy form, my friend Sue, and possibly you'll win. Well, we can't announce a winner right now. I think you're still filling out forms, aren't you guys? So I'll have to send you an email about it afterwards. Okay, guys, I am going to let you go and fill out that form. Do it now. I'm taking down that site in literally an hour. At 9 p.m., that is going to shut and that's going to close. So you have until, we did it especially for this webinar. So at 9 p.m., that's going to close. So make sure your form is in by then. And we'll have to send out an email. And we'll have to go to, and we'll have to fill out and notify you by email. So good on you for investing the time today. You're definitely awesome. That's what people who succeed in business do. They take action to do the things they need to do to find out exactly how to better themselves and better their business. So you've definitely done a great thing. Let me know in the question box just before we head off. I know you're busy filling out the form, so good on you. Let me know in the question box quickly. Let me know what's the biggest thing you got out of today. In the question box. Biggest thing you got out of today. The biggest aha moment you got out of today. Rach says the change in the one sentence marketing message. That's a big one. Hey, Rach. Amy says how to double my sales through messaging, through testing and measuring. Yep, that's a great one. Sue says strategy is the key, but I missed 30. Missed 30? Did you miss 30 minutes or something? Pat said breakdown of ready buyers. That's a really interesting one. Hey, that changed the entire way that we did business once we figured that out. Justin says tactic versus strategy. Yep, good. I'm glad. David, how about you? What's the biggest thing you got out of today? David says, I've studied education-based marketing, but have always struggled to get it up and running. I know I need a marketing system, just need to have the focus. It sounds like you need a bit of help there, David, to help you set everything up. I know you're busy filling up your form, so good on you. It just says, thanks for the webinar, very good. Awesome, beautiful. Okay, guys, any last questions before we head off? You have me for a few more minutes. Beautiful. Okay, guys, just remember that form is going to close very, very soon. So I know you're busy filling it out, so go ahead, finish it off. And once you do, you just have to click this button here. Let's go there again, liveandmedia.com/strategy. Okay, once you do, you just click this button here, schedule my session. Now, obviously, these forms aren't filled in, so I can't schedule it. But once you do, you'll be sent to book in a time. And if you win, I'll accept your invitation to book in a time, and that's when we will do our strategy session together. Okay, so that's what you need to do. Fill in these fields here, click schedule my session, and then we go from there. Okay, and I'll send out an email. I'm going to have a look at these responses tonight as they come through, and as soon as they come through, I'll send out an email tomorrow and let you all know who's won. Okay, awesome. Well done, guys. Fantastic on you for spending the time, investing the time to make sure you get more out of your business. I'm really glad I could help today.